sometime in September, October, there was some discussion about Ajit's golf tournament. I wasn't very familiar, but I said we'll do it. So all these people who came up to the stage, Pradeep, of course, my staff officer, he did the heavy lifting of all the organization effort. So I'd like to thank you, Pradeep, so much. Vikas Singh he runs an outfit called the Fit Page. He's a marathoner. He does a lot of runs for the Navy, and he's the guy who sponsored our T-shirts.
Oh, great!
The caps.
Very
Thank you so much, Pradeep. Thank you so much, Vikas, for that. Raman Singh was our main interlocutor, and I thank the BPGC folks, Hari. Thank you so much for allowing us to be there. Of course, and everybody else. Rajesh Mahendrakar was the person who put together the 4 balls and the Ajit and all of that. So it was broadly just for me to put a team together and make them work, and they did an incredible job. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I'm so grateful to have this occasion to meet all of you and spend a couple of days with you. Of course, we look forward to taking this forward. A small word about the Navy House, because people said speak about the Navy House. This, ladies and gentlemen, like Satya sir said, it's 150 years old. It was built and occupied and inhabited in 1875. Just as a matter of peculiar interest, it predates the Gateway of India by about 45 years or so. That was conceived in 1911, and it was built a few years after that. So this is a heritage property, and this is where the Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Navy always lived. Like all of you know, of course, Mumbai is the birthplace of the Indian Navy, and the Indian Navy started. It has its origin right here, and much of the success story of Mumbai, as we call it, the commercial capital of India, the economic capital of India, and all of that happened in this part. So Mumbai actually owes a lot of its growth, a lot of its prosperity to the Navy and to this peculiar real estate. The naval dockyard here is about 290 years old, by the way.
Oh.
The naval dockyard is 290 years old. We've got the oldest dry dock outside of Europe, where the Royal British Navy used to build their ships of the line, as they were called, right here at the Bombay dock, about 290 years back, built by Indian artisans, Indian shipbuilders with Malabar teak. The oldest ship that continues to stay afloat, maybe the second oldest ship that continues to stay afloat in the world, HMS Trincomalee, was built right here. So this dockyard has some huge heritage, huge legacy, and all of that. And this house has been a part of that. So we're just incredibly lucky and fortunate to be here. And when we had this opportunity, I said, the original program had, of course, we had the Sundowner yesterday, and we were meant to have a gala dinner in the US Club as well. So I took Satish sir's permission. I said, let's have a change of venue and let's have it in the Navy House. So I'm very grateful that we could have all of you here and be a part of it.
Thank you so much.
So this is something that I've said many times before, but please allow me to say it once again. All of us have our journeys in life, and some are exciting, some are not so exciting, but all of us are bound by one fact, that all of us, obviously there are plenty of touch points and data points in our lives. All of us have one touch point and data point in our lives, which is Sunny School Bijapur, and I think that defines all of us, and that in a way binds all of us. I can speak from personal experience, and I can't speak for anybody else, but I can speak for me, and I can speak for the Ajits who I see in the Navy, Ravi, Viru, and the rest of the guys who are here. There is something to be said, about what we imbibe when we get into Sunny School Bijapur. We get into, I came from Bangalore. I just joined school in 1977, and every time we went on vacation, we'd all be mustered in front of the school dining hall, the school mess, and then put into various buses. And somebody went off to Bangalore, somebody went to Bagalkot, somebody went to somewhere, Gadag, Hubli, Dharwad, and all that. And the Bangalore party guys would get into the bus, and we'd be driven to the railway station in Bijapur. We were just opposite the Gol Gumbaz. And when we left the school, in the olden days, of course, we came from the principal's house. We came, and there was a oblique road that led to a a downslope, and it went to the Gandhi Chowk or wherever it went. And when we left the school, there'd be a howl of some happiness that we got out of jail and all of that. And we'd go and take our trains, and and the small joke, of course, used to be that in our party we had a guy called B.N. Shashidhar. He was called Bengaluru for some reason, I don't know why. And we had a guy called Vijay Hubli. And the joke was, kya kare, Bengaluru, we go to you via Hubli. So we had to go to Hubli and change a train and go to Bangalore. And come back, do the reverse of the journey and come to Bijapur station, and then of course come back to school. But there is something to be said about that the school and the environment and the rest of it. It just was so, in hindsight of course, so electrifying that I speak of the olden days when of course we had no water in school. The school used to be a very brown patch, very dry, had some pokey grass, and the ladies here might not even believe that we used to get up in the morning and rub coconut oil on our skins because our skins would be cracked. They'd be cracked and be ready to peel off. So we'd rub coconut oil. It's very, very arid, very dry. We had no water. I remember about 100,000 evenings every day. We'd wear a towel or something in a hand, carry a soap dish, and go from house to house looking for water to have a bath after our sports period. And the sports period would be, our grounds used to be so dusty, muddy. We'd be filled with sand and sweat. Our socks used to be caked with sand and water, and we had to go and find some water to have a bath, and then quickly change to spotless white shirts, white pants, and run and sit in the recreation hall on the dari and start studying for an hour or two before we went for dinner. There is something about all that environment that that transformed us. It transformed us to be a heterogeneous lot of people. Of course, I went from Bangalore, from studying in a convent school. I went to Bijapur. I didn't know the language. I didn't know the people. But somehow, we find a lot of people who get into school who don't speak the language. They speak Kannada. There are a lot of people. I mean, Viru there, this man there, has said 100 times in wherever he's spoken about me in the Navy, saying that this man taught me how to wear my shoelaces. A lot of people wouldn't wear shoes. We didn't have clothes. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. But give it a year or two or three, everybody was the same level. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter where you belonged. There was something about the grooming that we got. There was something about, it was just right. It was just right. And I see all of that in the Navy. I'm among the older tribesmen in the Navy, and I see a lot of people in the Navy. And you can spot an Ajit from 100 miles. Because he's a guy who was honest, was sincere, who works as a team. He's solid, quiet perhaps. He doesn't advertise his achievements. He does not stand on the rooftop and say, I did A, B, C, D, E. He does not compete for the sake of competing, but he does some quiet, solid work. Absolutely. And that is what defines Ajit. And a lot of people, respect us simply because, we are the guys who are extremely dependable. Extremely dependable. You have a problem, you go to an Ajit, and he has a solution because he's not worried about whether he gets his next rank or not. He's just worried about whether he can contribute to the team effort or not. So excellent teammates, and there's something about the school that does all of that to us. All of us have varied journeys.